So we have this interface created with customtkinter. So you create the main window. We have the title created with the label widget and the button. When you click on the button, you call the open input dialog function. What it does, it simply creates the CTK input dialog widgets that will show up. Here are simply customization statements. Here are the packings of the two widgets and the main loop method. You run the code. Here is the title. Here is our button. When you click on the button, you have the default input dialog. The video is about the customization of the color of this text of the input dialog widget. Since we are working with customtkinter, we can use themes to customize our windows. For example, here I'm using the dark theme by calling set appearance mode from customtkinter. So when I run the code, there will be no change for our input dialog and also no change for our interface because it is configured or customized manually. Now if I change the theme and I put it to light, we will see here the colors changed for our input dialog. Now let's say that you want to use a specific color for your input dialog and you do not want to use the default colors provided by the themes. So what you can do is when creating the CTK input dialog, you specify the value for the attribute FG color and you set it to the color you want your input dialog to have. So here when I click on the input dialog, I want or I have the color I wanted. There is only one issue. This text color is not compatible with the new FG color, so I have to change this. So the solution you may think of is to change the property of the text color. If you look into the documentation of the input dialog from the customtkinter documentation website, you can see here that there is no text color attribute. Maybe later you will understand why there is no attribute in here, but when you check the source code, you can see clearly that in the init method that initialize or creates the widget, you can see that there is this attribute, the text color, the color of the text. So when we try to set this color, when we create our widget, here text color equal to the value we want that is compatible with the background color we already set, we will see that when we click on the button, it generates an error. So there is an error when you set this attribute in the input dialog creation method. The other solution that you may think of is to, instead configuring the text color in the creation method or the init method, you call the configure method of the widget and you set the value of the text color. If you try this, you will see that there will be no change for this color. And the reason, it's simple. When you look into the source code, you can see that when the text color is initialized or the value of text color is recuperated, it doesn't take the value of the text color, but it takes this value, the value of the button hover color. So you have two solutions. You may work or try to change the library code or do this. So this is the solution that you shouldn't do. I'm going to do two things. The first one is that I'm going to call this private method set attribute instead of configure. The second one is that instead of modifying the text color attribute, I'm going to access or modify this internal private text underscore text color attribute and then set its value to the color I want. Now if I run the code, you can see that the color changed. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.